Good morning and welcome to church. My name is Ann Dobson. Today's service leader is Reverend Dr. Lori Whittemore. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Saco in Biddeford. We also want to welcome those joining us on YouTube and encourage you to have a candle or chalice to light when we light ours here in a few moments. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we are glad you are here with us today. The theme for the month of October is courage. We invite you to carry that theme with you as you are with us today and into your daily life when you leave here. We strive to be a green sanctuary. It gives roots and wings to our vision of a world where all people build toward a sustainable future and make reverence, gratitude, and care for the living earth central to our lives. We want to acknowledge that our building sits on the land of the Wabanaki Confederation, which includes the Abenaki, Maliseet, Micmac, Passamaquoddy, and Penobscot nations. We invite you to take home the order of service for information and announcements, or you may leave it for recycling as you exit our sanctuary. Our current COVID guidelines are on the back page. And I would like to also draw your attention to the announcement about the holiday fair. Sign-up sheets are in the hall outside the kitchen parish hall in that little L. It's a big project for us to take on, and we need all the help we can get. There will be a social hour in the parish hall after the service today. Please join us.
Good morning. I want to let you know that by accident we've chosen some difficult hymns this morning, so the choir has graciously offered to do some leading of us and teaching of us, is that right? So that we can feel comfortable as we sing.
We'll be supporting.
So they'll be supporting us, thank God. Please join me in our opening words. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry about that. This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature. It is a house of friendship, a haven in trouble, an opening room for the encouragement of our struggle. It is a house of freedom, of free religion, guarding the dignity and worth of every person. It offers a platform for the free voice, for declaring, both in times of security and danger, full and undivided conflict of opinion. It is a house for truth-seeking, where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in community of searchers. It is a house of art, adorning its celebrations with melodies of handiwork. It is a house of prophecy, outrunning time past and times present in visions of growth and progress. This house is a cradle for our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavor, a haven for our sacred community. And please join me in the reading of the covenant. This is our sacred promise, to gather together in peace, to seek truth in love, to serve human need, so that all shall grow in harmony with the divine. And stand as you're able and join us in singing hymn number 358, Rank by Rank We Stand.
Their hopes and
A flame within a chalice is a primary symbol of the Unitarian Universalist tradition. The symbol was created in response to World War II, representing love and compassion in all things. It is a visual symbol of our modern and dynamic faith. Every time we light it, we are illuminated by the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. Today we light it in honor, the coming together of our core beliefs, and that God is one and that salvation is universal. So please join me in the words for the lighting of the chalice. We light our chalice, remembering that all paths are welcomed as we form community in search of truth. We light our chalice, remembering the pioneers of these traditions who had the courage to join the communities together in a common path of free religion. We light our chalice, remembering there is more truth and light to break free. We light our chalice to shine a light on what we have yet to become.
This is the time in our service when we invite people to share what is in their hearts, whether it is a great joy or a deep sorrow. It is not a time for announcements or political statements. If you wish, please come forward to light a candle. Tell us your name if you'd like, and share your joy or sorrow with us if you choose to do so. Please hold the mic straight in front of you, parallel to the floor, and speak clearly into the mic so you can be heard through our sound system. And I will meet you down there because I'm a little bit nervous about my trick knee this morning, so I'm not going to talk and walk down the stairs as I usually do.
Well, while she does that, I want to say my name is Lori, and I lit 2 candles for my daughter and my husband who went through major surgery 5 weeks ago and are cranky and bored, which is such a great thing.
Thank you, Lori.
Good morning. My name is Nikki. Are we on? Can you hear me? Okay. I lit a candle this morning for my cousin Harry. When all of my cousins were alive, I had 24 first cousins. And out of all of those first cousins, Harry was number one. And he died recently after long fight with liver disease, based on the fact that he was an addict for many years. But in his words, he did his best to redeem himself. He was an activist, a poet, a beautiful poet. I'll share some of his poetry, I think, at an upcoming service. He founded a group that works with prisoners coming out of prison, making the transition back into mainstream life. And what started as just a small vision, a few folks, is now a highly respected organization in Oregon that has 2 transitional houses. So, this is in memory of my beloved cousin Harry.
I'll walk slowly with a trick. Yes. So I'm Lori, and I won't be able to get through this without crying, but had the most amazing day on Thursday. My daughter got to meet her birth father and her half-brother. Her birth father has changed his life around. When she was 4, he tried to get her back and has wanted to meet her ever since. She has a half-brother who has known about her since he was born, and we got to spend the day together on Thursday. It was beyond imagining, like just so happy. And her birth father just kept saying, "Wait, you do want to know me? Like, you know about my history, right? You still want to know me?" And it was like love personified, and I just happier than I could ever imagine it could be. So we suddenly have more family.
Hello, my name is Jamie. This way? Oh, thank you. There we go. Sorry about that. My name is Jamie, and this is a candle of joy for my mom, who taught me how to enunciate consonants in church hymns.
My wife, I'm Bob. My wife wouldn't have needed this. She always said you used her teacher voice, but I don't have that. I lit the candle for my good friend Paige. She's been fighting cancer for about 3 years, and the last year things looked pretty good, but now the cancer's returned. Keeping with this month's theme, I pray she has the courage not to give up and keep fighting.
My name's Randa. Candle is for Janine, our fellow sister congregant, and her, I hate to use the word battle, her relationship with her health. May she be well.
Hi, my name is Donna. I lit this candle for my friend Steve Bellinger, whom some of you may know. He was at one point active in Southern Maine gay men. He died this past week.
And I light this last candle for all the joys and concerns that we hold in our hearts.
Testing. Can you hear me? Oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, you know, there's a lot of changes afoot here, and one of them is we're beefing up our videos and our technology, and so it was suggested to me, since we're going to have a good YouTube presence, that I need to start reading a story for all ages. And it just so happened there was one that was suggested that fit perfectly with the message this morning. So children, adults, people of all ages, I'm going to read to you The Magical Yet. There are days when your dreams haven't come true, or you're upset by the things you can't do. If you've lost or failed or cried just a bit, you're tired of waiting, you're ready to quit. Like that shiny new bike you couldn't ride, and it didn't matter how hard you tried. You couldn't pedal, and you couldn't steer, and you couldn't get that bike into gear. Then when you thought you were right on track, you popped a wheelie and fell on your back. It's been a few years since I popped a wheelie, I'll tell you that. Whew. And now you won't ride. No way, not ever. No riding for you, you're gonna walk forever. Don't give up now, there's a major game changer, a most amazing thought rearranger, someone to show you how good you can get. Now introducing the magical Yet. With this Yet's magic, you can begin to see what you're going beyond where you've been. There are so many things that you've learned to do when you didn't know that the Yet was with you. Like when you babbled before you could talk, and how you crawled before you could walk. Yet's a dreamer, a schemer, a hoper, a trier, a maker, a doer, a gotta fly higher. This Yet finds a way even when you don't, and Yet knows you will even when you think you won't. Like that shiny new bike that you couldn't ride, hop right back on because Yet is by your side. Yet doesn't mind warm-ups, fixes and flops, do-overs, redos, stumbles, and stops. You know there's mistakes, some big and some small. With Yet, you're sure to get over them all. Play the kazoo or play the bassoon, jam with the Yet, and you'll soon be in tune. Try skateboarding tricks, like that ollie heel flip. This Yet can get you to the championship. Tongue twisters twisted your tongue in a knot, Yet says keep trying and practice a lot. Be patient, you can't do it all overnight. Some things take days, months, or years to get right. But if you keep leaping, dreaming, wishing, waiting, learning, trying, missing, with the Yet as your guide along the way, you'll do all the things you can't do today. Now you're bolder, you're braver, you're starting to see, with Yet you can get where you want to be. You finally did it, you knew you could, you're not just riding, you're getting quite good. But don't stop now, you've got so much to do. The good news, this Yet grows with you. So no matter how big or old you may get, you'll never outgrow, you'll never forget. You can always believe in the magical Yet. So thanks for listening. I think it's always better when there's beautiful pictures, and this fits right in line with what we're going to talk about today. It's a hymn, right? And please stand as you're able and join me in singing hymn number 297.
My reading seems to have disappeared. Really disappeared. Here it is. Put where it would never be lost. In the out-of-the-way places of the heart where you thought never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you are ready to emerge. For a long time it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you will yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled, and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream. A path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promising of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure, hold nothing back, learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
The Unitarians and Universalists merged together on October 31st, 1959. Perhaps a dry topic to some. I took that fact that this is October, the UU date of a UU date of significance, as an opportunity to increase my knowledge about being a UU. To explore the spiritual ramifications of merger and the practical ones. To open up the conversation about what it might mean for us moving forward. Universalists and Unitarians alike, as well as some other liberal Christian Jewish sects, were a major part of a broader liberal religious movement and a council in the early 1900s. Many years before the earnest effort to merge took place, both Unitarians and Universalists contemplated merging as partners. In fact, you will see evidence of it in our hymnals, as there are Quaker and Jewish hymns. Those were people that they thought about merging with hundreds of years ago or 100 years ago. Kim French wrote in 2009 on the 50th anniversary of the merger, historians have often used the metaphor of a flirtation that lasted 100 years, an engagement in 1959, and a marriage in 1961, which was the final legal incorporation of the UU Association and the date that's most often remembered. There were several distinctions between the two denominations, some theological and some practical. Both had or have unity as their central tenet. Universalism, a more theological sense of unity. They dissented traditional Christian thinking about sin and damnation. For them, fulfillment of the gospel of Jesus Christ was, in fact, that we're all one people and that we're all accessible to salvation. The trademark of this was called ultimate confidence, hallmark of universalism, enabling peoples of vastly different points of view within the church to come together without demanding creed, cult, or culture to unify them. Ultimate confidence that all are welcome, hope, not despair, unity, not alienation or damnation. That's the theology behind universalism. The practical side of it, though, was a Unitarian thing, and it was probably even more a motivator for the Universalists to merge. Universalists were working class, often lay-led or circuit rider. They were often churches in the willy-wags, which is one of my favorite words. It's actually a Maine word, willy-wags. And they all had to go to the same church because there was only one church in town, so they all had to find a creed or a way to organize themselves. Unitarians who organized around principle rather than theology chose the principle of democracy. It was arithmetic of bringing themselves together with universalism. It was arithmetic of corporation with a continental vision. They were the business leaders. They were on the coast. They were the people with influence. But still, it took courage to merge. And that was basically the polite history of it all. Ann Dobson accommodated my request to be part of this and sharing with me the resources. We had some fun language back and forth about this. She shared with me interviews of all the white men of history talking about what they did to bring this merger about. There was no sense of theological unification in the document that she shared. It was an oral history that was transcribed, and it really felt like a business deal rather than a meeting of liberal minds to shape the institution that we sit in today. Multiple trips to meetings, sending out ministers to preach hither and yon to get the message to all parts of the country, commissions and committees, conferences and conventions, lots of effective leadership and courage to move beyond what was. Now, these documents felt short of spirit. Men telling matter-of-fact accounts of what men did, sprinkled with politics and personalities, and sometimes golf games. What I didn't get from those documents, I got from the oral history of the merger or consolidation of the Biddeford Universalist Church and the Saco Unitarian Church. The practicality of the decision-making, the hope and the optimism, the lack of agenda, the commitment to the greater good for both communities despite what could have felt like a loss of identity. The courage to focus on hope of what was yet to come. The Unitarian Church in Saco had been dwindling for a while, and if I'm not mistaken, it had been boarded up. The Universalist Church in Biddeford was doing a bit better when the two contemplated their own merger. It would have made sense to merge to the better attended community with a better building. But this building could not be sold. It sits on land that we don't own. And lawyers and politicians were all involved in this decision and this discussion. And so, in consideration of these facts, well, the Universalist Church had bad staircases and no parking, and I think the kitchen wasn't very good, right? And so, given these two facts, what they decided to do was sell the Universalist Church, build the connection, and build a parish hall. And my favorite part of this in all of the oral history was the women demanded that they be given full say over the kitchen. They were going to design it, they were going to make it so they could actually do church suppers. And so that's why we have such a great kitchen. And I think it's actually the original if you really look at it closely. Once the determination to move over was made, to merge, to join together, to consolidate, there was no looking back. Perhaps it is true main spirit, but once it was decided, people rolled up their sleeves and made it happen. So there's two women, Esther and Evelyn, spoke about there being no ill will or infighting, just a common effort to build something new, to let go of what had been, and to build a community together, to create a new community that was shared and unified spirit that is present in the theology and ideology of both streams, but they didn't look all that up before they rolled up their sleeves and started working together. It took courage to let go of what didn't serve them any longer, the church. It took courage to let go and make a new life together, but they did it, moving forward in an optimistic and hopeful manner. Merge, converge, consolidate, integrate, unify, amplify. In so many instances, I've heard it said that the English language doesn't have enough words to express things truly. One example of that is the English language only has one word for love, where the Hebrew has 8. So our words often confine us. At the National Assembly and at the congregational level, the merger began. In 1961, they issued statements on things like, because UU likes to issue statements and proclamations, they issued those on migratory workers to address minimum wage, child labor, healthcare, and education. In 1961, they issued a resolution to do away with mental hospitals, capital punishments, segregation in schools, discriminatory housing practices based on race. They proclaimed against communism in favor of disarmament, and were giving proclamations to issues that we're still having right now. Beyond a flag, beyond a banner, beyond a trite saying, they were communicating what we still believe now. Other churches, bear with me, take a deep breath on this, other churches in our midst hand out note cards before elections. Now, they only tell people what candidates, let me read this right, align with the values of their church. Molecules away from making a breach of issuing an endorsement for a particular candidate, they hand out note cards that say these values match with our church. And helping their own people connect their values to what they're doing in a democratic society. Do we have the courage to do the same? I'm not suggesting it, I'm just asking. We proclaim welcoming of all, love for all, acceptance of all, anti-racism, social justice, environmental justice in today's language. How do we merge, converge, consolidate, integrate, unify, amplify to meet the world in its brokenness and the world in its hope? Sharing and fulfilling these messages that come way back hundreds of years ago. Hymns are important teachers of theology. They etch the message in our hearts and souls in ways that listening to a sermon can't ever do. Who hears and understands the words of our 1993 hymnal besides us? I enjoy singing them a lot. I love hearing Paul play. And, don't get me wrong, there is nothing more I like participating, but would a 35-year-old, a 25-year-old, or a 15-year-old say the same thing? I say all of this out loud because I have great optimism. We face many of these same challenges. Our building costs a ton of money to maintain, to heat, to repair. Be patient. Yet, there is an answer in all of this. We have some of the same challenges, but in confidence and good company, let us invoke the word yet. We haven't figured it out yet. We have had challenges with audio, video, masking, spacing, singing, zooming, and yet we persist. This yet finds a way even when you don't, and yet knows you will when you think you won't. We are YouTubing as we speak and taking on social media as we speak, finding our voice in new languages. We are on our way. We haven't arrived yet, but we are on our way. And despite my telling of it, the UU history isn't that boring. It is a history of great courage. Ancient history was a history of a unified God and salvation to all. More recent history is one of self-examination and evolution in order to keep that important concept of liberal religion alive, not letting the means or the denominational trappings diminish the message that took great courage to kindle. It takes that same courage now. Will you let that courage be kindled? Can you unfurl into the grace of this new beginning we are facing right now, trusting what you don't yet know, drawing on your courage? I want to invite you to consider 5 ways to cultivate this courage. Make fear your friend. You will never be completely without fear, so when you feel fear, ask it what it has to tell you. Treat it like a friend or companion with useful information for you. Embrace courage as a mindful response to fear, responding thoughtfully to fear, regularly will build courage. Rather than giving into anxiety of the unknown, know that you have the capacity to face fear. Choose to be bold by simply committing to action. You don't even have to have an answer for that action. Commit to be a part of the solution, and you will step into your future courageously. Be vulnerable. That's sometimes the hardest part, but sharing your fears and anxieties in community will remind you that you're not alone and that we're doing this together. And do it for others. Do it for others. Nothing cultivates courage like standing up for someone else in their time of need. Do it for others. This religion of ours is needed in the world right now. In fact, it stands for everything that the world needs right now. Let us draw on our history and examples of our foremothers and forefathers and step into tomorrow with courage, trying things we've never done before, taking on things that we're scared of. And we can do this. We can do this together. We can do this for others, and we can do it yet again when we choose courage over fear. So be it.
When we gather together as a community, we bring the gifts of ourselves, our hearts and spirits, our time and energy, our talents and skills, to support the work of this church here within our walls and out in the larger community. We also bring our gift of generosity, giving of what we have, so that the work of this church may continue. As always, half our offering today will be sent out into the larger community to support the work of an agency or organization that is making a difference in our world. This month, we are sharing our offering with the Natural Resources Council of Maine. If you are watching from home, donations may be made through the Give button at the top of our webpage, UU Church, Saco, Biddeford.com, or checks may be mailed to UUCSB, 60 School Street, Saco, Maine, 04072. Please be generous as the ushers collect this morning's offering. Please join me in extinguishing our chalice. As we release this flame from its faithful service today, we allow the spark in each of us to burn on, to warm our compassion, to fire our delight, to light our paths today, tomorrow, and always.
Please remain standing and sing with me hymn 102, We the Heirs of Many Ages. Because of those who came before, we are. In spite of their failings, we believe. Because of and in spite of the horizons of their vision, we too dream. Let us step out beyond our horizons with courage, and may we abide in peace.
Be ours a religion which, like sunshine, goes everywhere, its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love.
It's